Okay, we have a lady that's with us from the spirit world, and I know that this particular lady has a funny laugh. It's one of these loud, giggling laughs that sort of people may turn their heads and look at if they were sitting in a restaurant. But there's a real sense of giggles that's coming through that I'm trying to control with her energy at the moment. And I know that her laugh was either quite contagious or annoying to some people. As I'm working with this lady, I know that there was quite a bit of sadness towards the end of her life. And I feel as though there was a sense of not willing or not wanting to accept the process of physical death, because this is what's coming through to me at the moment. That underneath all of that humour and laughter was a real sense of someone being quite frightened, quite scared. Okay, I'll just obtain some information from her so we can identify where we need to be. I know that this particular lady sort of had two different families. She wants me to make reference to two different families. It's like a family over here and a family over there. I belong to two family units, okay? And I know that she was a perfectionist. She didn't like things to be creased or to be out of place, because this is what's coming through. I just want to obtain some further details from her. I want to bring in a connection with a name that sounds like Ruth. I want to bring in a connection here with a name that sounds like Ruth. Is there anywhere here where this information is connecting so far? Okay, I'll just get you just to validate the information that's come through.
My auntie had lived in two families. She lived in our family, but she actually had a child that she never raised.
Okay.
And she had their family, and her cousin's name was Ruth.
Okay. Because I feel as though this lady did have a sense of sadness about her life towards the end. This is the lady that's coming through. And I feel as though that underneath all of this outside giggleness and humour was a sense of loneliness in there as well.
Yes, she was lonely even. Yes, I agree with that.
Okay, because that's what's coming through. Is there somewhere connected with the name of Mark? Can you confirm if there's a connection in with the name of Mark?
Her grandson's name was Mark.
Okay, well I'll go with that because I just heard her just calling the name of Mark. Okay, now let's just work through all of this. I have a gentleman that's with me from the spirit world that's connected here, and this gentleman also worked in industry, quite heavy industry. Okay, there's lots of smog and noise and dirt that I'm seeing and feeling around me, and this older gentleman, I believe, is connected to you that's in the spirit world. Do you understand this information? Okay, yes, you do understand this information. Let's just go back to them.
Yes.
Okay. Now, have you been thinking of either selling your property, or you've sold, or you're buying something else?
I have been thinking of moving.
Okay, well you're going to move. I believe that you're going to move because they're showing the real estate coming in and the real estate going back out. Okay, so if you were thinking about moving, they're just bringing this forward. Okay.
It's only me thinking about it, no one else in the family.
No, that's okay. Well, it may be just that you're currently thinking, but they'll definitely guide you if that's what you're thinking of doing, because they showed me this real estate that's coming and going. Now, around you is a sister type figure that's very close. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm a twin, and they're bringing up that reference of I'm a twin and I've got a sister figure, and there's a real sense of closeness that's there, not so much in age, but in personality, okay, a real connection, okay? Now, I also want to bring in a connection with the name of Mick or Michael. I'm hearing the names quite clearly with this reading. I want to bring in that connection with Michael or Mick. I'll give you a moment just to validate.
I can't relate to that at the moment.
So there's no connection in there with the name of Michael?
Not that I can remember.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll leave that with you, because that's as strong as Mark that came through and Ruth. Okay, and I know that you'll probably walk out and you'll think, oh, there's a connection in there with that name. I also have a lady that's with me from the spirit world that's connected in, And I know that this lady passed of illness, and I know that this particular lady was very unwell towards the end of her life. Now this lady I want to place above you at a higher level, which could be a mother type figure or a mother-in-law or someone in that age category. Does this information make sense to you at all?
My grandmother passed away a long time ago, but...
Okay, now there's this lady that's coming through. Now, the name Michael didn't connect with anyone else that's here.
I've got a nephew, Michael.
And I have a lady that passed into the spirit world, like a mother type figure that passed of illness. Okay, I feel as though I felt I needed to go somewhere else then. Is that okay with you? We just got a little hijacking that's coming through here.
And actually I'm in the process of nearly moving. Also,
Okay.
I thought that might have been connected.
No, that's
also.
okay. Well, that's the connection that then brought us into here. Okay, so you've confirmed the name of Michael. I felt I was being pulled here, and I have a lady that's from the spirit world that's coming through as a motherly type figure that was very unwell.
Yes,
Okay, this is your mother. Is this
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
Okay. Now, I don't know if she put tissues in the bra or did things like that or fiddling around, because she's fiddling around with this area here as she's blending and moving forward. And I like her personality. Okay.
She did that for me when I went to my brother's engagement party.
Oh my gosh.
I had no boobs. Like.
Oh, right, okay. Well, she's just putting this in here now, and I'm like, well, don't touch and fiddle there. We've got some microphones. But she's fiddling and doing that. If she did that for your brother's engagement, and this is on camera, but that's okay. We can deal with that. At least you admitted
She
it.
could
That's the main
virtually
thing.
see through the dress, she realised, so we had to pad her bra up.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, this is what she's doing now, and if you had to pad her bra up, that's her
My
way
bra.
of... Oh, your bra. That's her way of showing a bit of humour that's coming through, okay? And I felt that as I was connecting here, I was being pulled over here very, very strongly, okay? Now, I'm not sure if you've just bought shoes or you're thinking of buying shoes, but there's a real shoe connection that's coming through here at the moment.
I want a new pair of joggers because they're
And is this
tearing.
something you've been thinking about doing just recently, like in the last few days, because this is what she's coming
I had
through?
them on Thursday and I thought, I really need a new pair.
Okay, well, I'll go with that because today is Friday, so it's just basically the next day. Okay? Now, I know that your mother was the sort of person in personality that if you did wrong by her enough times, she'll sort of just disconnect completely. Not you personally, but I feel a real strong sense in her personality that's coming through. And I feel as though that if she was to live her life again, there would be a lot of teaching throughout that life, okay, and lots of learning there. Have you changed a roof or a roofing or a shelter of something in and around your home?
My son was fiddling with the gutter in the back cabin.
Okay, well, I'll go with that. If your son was fiddling with the guttering, she's showing this change and shift in energy in the roofing.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's just her way of observing that and bringing that back through the platform as part of the evidence.
He was going to replace it, but it was too much hard work, so we just ripped it off.
No, that's okay. That's okay, and that's just her observation that's coming through. I know that as she's passed into the spirit world, it's just not one factor. I feel as though it's like a number of things that start to not fall apart, but not work. Okay?
Yeah, the cancer went everywhere. In the
And
end,
this is how she's portraying it to me. Okay? Now, did she wear wigs at all, or did something with her hair
No,
towards?
but she always went to the hairdresser weekly.
Okay, because there's a real sense of change that's going on here in and around this area. I'm just asking her what she's come here for. And I feel as though I'm opening up a can of worms. If she was to sit down, she'd want to talk with you for hours. Okay? And there's a real sense of sitting around a dining table and catching up and talking. And I know that she really enjoys people's company and being around them. Okay? Did someone make a mistake either on her name or on her notice or something like that?
On my dad's notice they did.
Ooh, okay. Because if they made a mistake on your dad's notice, this is what she's talking to me about. As I'm asking her for some evidence of what she's observed, she's showing to me that there's been a mistake made on the notice or something.
He used to sit in the same pew at the church for 40 years, and we expected the church to be, spilling outside, and there was only a handful of people.
Okay.
And they had it in the Manly Daily for November, and he didn't die till December.
Okay. Well, this is just their way of using a bit of humour, because I know that there was an error with the notice or something concerning death. Well, at least they made an effort, and it happened a month before. They just got their time out, and that might have been enough to cross him over. Okay. But I know that I just then want to acknowledge your father. Does that make sense? Yeah. And perhaps it's just her that's the one that's bringing forward all this information, and she's the one that is doing all the talking. Okay.
Could you ask her if she's going to help me out with the finances for my new house, please?
Oh, right, okay. Well, I can't help much on the physical side of things, but they will guide you.
Okay, great.
They will guide you, because I know that the spirit world has ways of guiding you into the right people. They may not necessarily be able to provide you with what you need physically, but what they can do is they can guide you into those people that have open heart and open mind, and they will assist you. And it may be that you walk into a bank and the person in the bank is the person that will assist you with the finance. Okay? And so I know that the spirit world work in many ways in that type of work with me. They don't just drop it straight into the earth plane. They guide me to the necessary people that will assist with that process. Okay? So they're just disconnecting their energy now, and your parents, there's a lot of love that's come through. And I feel as though that when your time eventually comes and you eventually pass into the spirit world, that your father's given me this sense there's so much to catch up on. There's so much to catch up on. Okay? So they're just disconnecting their energy now, so I'll leave that with you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Tonight my aunt came through from the spirit world. She used a reference of her own cousin's name, Ruth, which she has given to me before. She also gave validation that she was in two families, a part of two families. One family was my own family, that she lived with us and spent a lot of time with us, and the other family was her daughter's family, which she didn't live with her daughter growing up. And she gave reference to her grandson Mark, and I'm very grateful that this communication has occurred, and it is a wonderful connection that we do have.
And Nolene and my reading blended in together because they were talking about moving, and I thought, oh, I'm moving. And then Louise said the name Michael, which Nolene couldn't connect to, but I could with my nephew. And then it was validated that at my brother's engagement party there were tissues used in the bra, and also on Thursday I was thinking that I need to get new joggers because they're ripped, and that came up. And also my father's funeral notice was a month before he died. They put November instead of December, so the church was quite empty and we expected it to be full. So yes, everything was said came true, and there's a lot to talk about when I pass over to the spirit world, so that'll be good to see them again.